Today on Vox, we have information on President Trump, Pope Francis, and more. Zach Byram will have your local weather, and Jay Standage will have your sports.
It's Tuesday, September 25th, 2018, and you're watching Vox News Today.
Please stand for the pledge of the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I'm Mary Beth Mangrum.
And I'm Taylor Lawson. President Donald Trump is returning to Tennessee for both a Make America Great Again rally and a fundraiser to boost Republican Marsha Blackburn in her tough U.S. Senate race. The rally is free and doors open at 4 p.m. with the event starting at 7 p.m. at Freedom Hall in Johnson City. An invitation says tickets to the fundraiser cost $10,000 per couple, including a photo with Trump, or $25,000 a couple, including a photo and a round table with Trump. Contributions will fuel Blackburn's joint fundraising committee. Should students get credit for work not handed in? One Florida teacher said no and took a stand. Now she's been fired for that move. But Amy Lippman reports the teacher does not regret her actions.
Years of teaching, I have so much stuff.
Motivation, inspiration. That's what Diane Tirado strives to provide her students as a longtime teacher.
Teaching is a calling for me.
So she thought the same when she started teaching 8th grade history at Westgate in Port St. Lucie last month.
I had so much fun decorating my room.
But then she assigned this Explore Notebook project.
This is what I gave weeks for.
When several students didn't turn it in, Tirado found out about what she says is the school's no-zero policy, reflected here in the student and parent handbook.
Well, what if they don't turn anything in? Well, we give them a 50, I go, oh, no, we don't.
We spoke to a parent at the school about what he thinks.
You don't know what's going on at home, and what you see is front level. Because if my son blatantly chooses not to do it, he knows he's got an issue. Ain't that right?
Tirado was terminated on September 14th, but there's no cause mentioned in the letter from the principal since she was still in her probationary period. On her last day, she wrote this message to her students on her whiteboard before she left and sent out a picture of it through a class app. Her students responded.
You are right about not giving people 50s.
And then she posted it on Facebook. It's now been shared more than 400 times.
A grade in Ms. Tirado's class is earned.
Tirado hopes this time she motivates policy change.
I'm so upset. We have a nation of kids that are expecting to get paid and live a life just for showing up. And it's not real.
President Trump takes the podium before the UN General Assembly in New York later this morning. Karen Kaifa is in the UN with the preview of the president's speech and a look at what the world will be watching for.
President Trump already has met one-on-one with leaders from Japan, Egypt, and South Korea. President Moon Jae-in relaying developments from his recent visit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. President Trump spoke Monday of a possible follow-up summit with Kim.
I see tremendous enthusiasm on behalf of Chairman Kim toward making a deal.
It's a scenario that seemed almost impossible last September.
If it is forced to defend itself or its allies, we will have no choice but to totally destroy North Korea.
In his first UN General Assembly, President Trump was a wild card, a novice world leader his counterparts had heard much about but not experienced firsthand. This time, they have a clearer idea of his worldview, underscored by actions like U.S. withdrawal from the Iran nuclear deal, his actions on trade, a U.S. withdrawal from the UN Human Rights Council, in line with his promise of America first. That's put him at odds with some key allies.
We don't like the unilateral approach some of our members of the United Nations are promoting. This is the wrong way. We do think that multilateralism has to have a chance.
But Trump's team says he will reiterate that idea of American sovereignty in this closely watched speech today.
Whether it's security issues, economic issues, human rights, or anything else, the president is asking for countries to exert their sovereignty to solve challenges and listening to what America can do to help.
At the United Nations, I'm Karen Kaifa.
In his first reference to the Catholic Church's sex abuse crisis during his Baltic trip, Pope Francis said he understood that young people, quote, are upset by sexual and economic scandals that do not meet with clear condemnation. He was addressing a group of young people in the Estonian capital, Tallinn, on Tuesday, the final day of his 4-day Baltic tour. Francis said that the Church would have to change the Pope returns to Rome on Tuesday evening and may address further questions on the sex abuse crisis during the in-flight presser on the Papal plane.
Per ticību Kristum kādreiz vajātie un izsūtītie. Arī pensionāri, kuri pensijas zemā līmenī ir Marijas reģionā. Mūsu vidū ir arī garīgās māsas, kuras savu veltību katolisko mediju starpniecību, kas ļauj tiem piedalīties mūsu lūgšanās un vidū.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, ringrazio l'Arcivescovo per le sue parole e la sua attenta analisi della realtà. Può capire un trattato paziente.
Es iedrošinu arī jūs. Baudīt un redzēt, ka vienmēr katra
Now let's send it over to Zach with your weather report.
This story sounds like it should belong in sports, but it doesn't. I'll have more on that, plus your 7-day forecast after this break. Welcome back. About 2 hours before kickoff, a storm moved through Tampa Bay area. The field stands were cleared and people were asked to seek cover, but the storm would move on and the game would kick off on time. Now let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. For today, we have cloudy skies with a high of 90, low of 67. To the rest of the week, we'll have cloudy to rainy weather in the forecast with highs of 89 and 86 with lows of 65 and 66. Through the weekend and through Monday, we'll have rainy weather in the forecast with highs of 84, 81, and 80 with lows of 66. That's all for me, and I'll send it over to Jace with your scores from last night.
Monday Night Football was last night as the Steelers faced the Buccaneers. It was a very close game, but who edged out the win? We'll find out after this break.
What are we looking at? Formaldehyde, acrolein, nitrobenzene. This actually has over 7,000 chemicals. Don't get me started on what they do to you. Prematurely wrinkled skin, stunted lung growth.
Mr. Essler.
Tooth loss, cancer.
Mr. Essler.
Hang on.
If cigarettes looked as dangerous as they are, you'd run like hell. Find out the real cost of tobacco.
Welcome back. Let's get right into it. The Pittsburgh Steelers traveled to Tampa Bay to face the Buccaneers, and the Steelers had a good lead going into the half, 30-13. The Buccaneers scored 2 touchdowns in an attempt to come back, but the Steelers held them off to win 30-27. And that's all from me. After this break, we'll take a look at your school announcements.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
Welcome back, Bradley Central. Today we are highlighting construction and cabinetry for our Career and Tech program of the day. Tomorrow we will highlight cosmetology. Now let's take a look at our school announcements.
This week is Spirit Week in preparation for our homecoming game on Friday. The dress-up days are as follows. Today is Salad Dressing Day, tomorrow is Out of This World Wednesday, Thursday is Character Day, and Friday is Extreme Bradley Day. Show your support and dress up.
The 2018 homecoming dance is this Friday, September 28th. The dance will begin after the football game and will be held in the courtyard for a dance under the stars. Along with this, there will be a live DJ, refreshments, and outdoor activities. Don't worry about dressing up though, because the dress code for this event will be casual. If you are interested in attending, tickets will be $8 and they'll go on sale Wednesday, September 26th through Friday, September 28th in the cafeteria during your lunch period. Don't procrastinate though, because tickets will not be sold at the door. We are online on YouTube at BCHS VOX News.
You can also check us out on Facebook, SchoolTube, and of course, VoxNews.net.
You just can't get enough of Vox.
That's all we have for you today, Bradley Central.
And as always, God bless and go Bears.